After 1000 hours of Necromancer gameplay, I found a Paragon node that no one is using and that will force me to change every single Paragon board I've made so far. Now this almost sounds too good to be true, but it solves one of the problems that the Necromancer has. No, it's not movement speeds or minion sucking, but it actually does help minions as well, and that is more attack speed, because more attack speed is so good for Bloodlands, Blood Surge, Bone Spear, throwing blights, faster corpse explosions, and yes, hiring the damage of your minions, because the more attack speed they have, the more damage multiplier they get. Now usually the Necromancer gets attack speed over the gloves, and there's also the Limitless Wall, which can give you bonus attack speed. And after these two items, the only other way is going into the Codex of Powers, and for blood, there's the aspect of Rathma's Chosen, where Overpower will give you attack speed, but you don't often have the spaces to put that in. And for normal skills that are not blood skills, you have the accelerating aspect, which gives you attack speed on critical strikes. You notice, like, it's either an aspect where items actually need it. That's all not functional or optimal. Now, if you're going into your Paragon board, there's one amazing one, and that is the Flesh Eater board. This one is being used by almost 90% of all Necromancer builds because you will interact with corpses and it's a 40% free damage multiplier. And usually the way we enter into this board is from the top, and then we sometimes take the poison node, but we enter from the top because we want the critical strike here. This changes now for every single build. What we do is we enter from the bottom, and you could just go straight away. But there's this node here that is unconsidered, that I've never looked at. But I recently just looked at the search bar here and I was attack speed. Yeah, and I did not know that attack speed exists in the Paragon board. And we're talking about 1.3%, 1.3%, and another 2.5%. That's a total 5.1% plus attack speed. It doesn't sound like much, but it is something, especially if you otherwise have nothing. And it will lead to you being able to more frequently shoot out your shots with a Bloodlands or a Blood Surge and not feel so sluggish. Now, this is not all of it, because interestingly enough, up to a 20% chance to execute injured non-elites. And that's another 5 and another 5. In total, this is a 30% lucky hit chance to execute injured non-elites. Injured, 35% and below. So if you land a first gigantic crit, afterwards, your next attack, your corpse explosion, your blood mist, whatever is hitting them can just straight up destroy them. It's a nice little bonus on top, and well, we gotta go in here anyways. All in all, it's not even costing us many more points. As I said, I recently have been going down here into the poison resistance. Now I'll just have to make sure to get some shadow resistance or more resistance to all elements nodes from somewhere else to not have to take the poison resistance. I mean, in this build, for example, I am not using the sacrifice of my skeletal warriors for elemental resistance. No, I'm sacrificing them for critical strike. And yet, with 3 diamonds and all the nodes I need, I am fully resistanced out. So you absolutely have the ability to do this right now. And for every single build that needs crit, this is now the blueprint to go into the board. You go to the right, you go up here. Right now, this is also the way to always activate Corporal, Amplify, all the glyphs that give you bonus to all magic nodes that are in here. Since you're coming, you take the bonus int node, resistance, resistance, resistance. You can cut this node if you don't want to. Take the 1 dex, take all the elite damage. Then you can go out of the board and you take all the intelligence needed to activate this straight away. And then you go over to get the critical strike. You could go from the bottom here, but it's less efficient than going from the top because you're essentially going past this node anyways. And then you leave the board at the bottom because you want these intelligence nodes on the way. Alternative, if you want to double leave this board, so if you don't have a way to get out of the next one, you have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points to get out of this again, which makes the Flesh Eater board the most versatile right now. Now, to give you an example on how to apply this, let's go into our Bloodlands Black River build, which is already insane, but it kind of suffers a bit from the attack speed. But we already used the Flesh Eater board. If we go up, this is Scent of Death, and then we're going to the left side, that would be the Bloodbath, and upwards into the Flesh Eater. And here you do notice we actually went in from the bottom, we got our corporal glyph activated, and we have taken a lot of things. We did ignore the crit here because we didn't have the points. So now let's reset the board, spin it twice, and we do want desperately to get the attack speed. 29 points. Might be clutch and we have to yoink some points otherwise out. But again, we're going in. It's not that much more points spent because we would spend points going down anyways. 2 points in intelligence, moving up into the intelligence here as well. We're going to activate the corporal glyph. It does need 40 in total. We're going to go for int, connected. Then we'll go for dex int. Take the 1 dexterity node. Go down here for the 1 willpower node. We already have 40 put in. I have 5 points left. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I need another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points from somewhere to be able to integrate this node. These 5 points could either be taken here from the critical strike damage. That wouldn't feel very good. We can't also take it out of the overpower. So we need to go over the right side into the Send of Death board. And here we're using domination with 49 points. Also nothing where you really want to yoink something out of. What I know though is we have enough armor with this build. So I'm going to be stealing this armor out. And that's another 2 points already. And then we'll just have to find another 3 points somewhere. Now you could say, maybe a little bit less max life is the vibe. Or in this case, we're looking to get the maximum intelligence, but we don't need all the armor nodes anymore. So what we can do here is we can take 1 armor node out, 1 armor node out, 1 armor node, and swap that over to the dexterity, which also gives us a nice dexterity bonus. That's 2 more points, saved easily. Now we could just save 1 intelligence, but we don't want to do this. So I'd rather go back into the Send of Death board and potentially cut just 1 critical strike damage over there. Other things are not really possible. And that gives us the 1, 2, 3 points. And we're perfectly in with the bonus of attack speed without sacrificing much and still having all our multipliers going. Now the same could be done for the Blood Surge build because it wants maximum attack speed too. There's the Flesh Eater board. We're in from the left side. So this would need us already to turn the board around, activating in this case the exploit glyph. And that is very intriguing because we're activating exploit, correct? But if we're going in from this side now, we have some dexterity nodes that we can natively take without effort that make it easier to activate this glyph as well. We're not necessarily even spending more points. We might have to cut out this critical strike damage node down here to be able to go from the side, but that should still be able to get us the attack speed node. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the only stupid one, or did you know about this? If you want to see this node being used in the best build this season and unquestionable #1 super S tier, enjoy. It is too good to be true and you'll love it.